today we are going to do the perpetual inventory system. Oh no, sorry, the periodic. We will be doing the perpetual tomorrow. Apologies. Um, so we will see how far we get if we can start with perpetual. But last time when I had the classes, the students, of course, were very tired and overwhelmed with just the one per inventory system. So let's see how it goes. And then tomorrow it's the perpetual inventory system, markup on cost, and the evaluation methods, just the one that we specifically use. So let's continue. Like I said, I unmuted everyone, so you are able to raise your hand and speak and unmute yourself and speak. Let me just share my slides. Um, okay, let me share it. Okay. Can any one of you maybe indicate with a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if you can see my very green presentation? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you. So, yeah, you're going to feel very green after this. Our college colors are green. That's why the slide says green, because this module is not part of the law faculties. So for accounting sciences, it's green. Okay, let's start off. Oh, I'm Miss Van Eck, also known as Miss Van Niekerk. So just to introduce myself. Okay, now you will see also, and in all the learning units at the beginning, you will get learning outcomes. Now, learning outcomes is very important since it says what you need to study in the learning unit and what you should be able to do or define or explain. Okay. Then inventory, overview of the concept. In most cases, inventory is the largest current asset of a trading entity. It's important that the trading entity can at all times meet demand for its different types of merchandise. Trading entities, entities that buy and sell goods, keep inventory on hand, unsold goods, to supply their customers with different types of goods. Additional purchases are made to replace the sold inventory. Okay, here it's just a cycle that we are explaining inventory. Um, I think go through it on your own because this is more based also on the perpetual than on the periodic. But if you look at it, I think it will make sense as well. Okay. Inventory systems. A business make a profit by selling the inventory for more than what it's paid to buy the inventory. In determining the profit of a trading entity, it is important to determine the cost of the goods sold, meaning the cost of sales. So, like I said, there are two inventory systems, periodic system and perpetual. Okay. Recording of inventory for the periodic inventory system. Okay. Under the periodic inventory system, the purchases of inventory. Okay, sorry, I think it moved on. Yes, apologies. The purchases of inventory is not recorded in the inventory account. Because I think, as you've seen so far in Learning Unit 1 and 2, that if you, for example, pay water and electricity with your cash, yeah, you pay cash, then you know already your bank account's going to decrease on the credit side since it's an asset, and your water and electricity will increase because it's an expense that occurred. So that will be on your debit side. But now in this case, we purchased inventory. So logically, the account that would be debited will be inventory because it will increase. It then just depends on if you purchase it cash or credit for then the other part of the account that needs to be credited. Okay, so when there's purchases, you do not record it in the inventory account. A separate account known as the purchases account is used. Under the periodic system, the sales of inventory are recorded in the inventory, are not, apologies there, yeah, are not recorded in the inventory account. A separate account, the sales account, is used. So from now on, if you hear periodic, you forget about inventory. You just think about purchases and sales. Okay, under the periodic inventory system, the cost of sales is not determined at the time of the recording of the sale, not the purchase, the sale. The cost of sales can only be determined at the end of the financial period after a physical inventory count has been done. Now, with the perpetual inventory system, you do keep, you can, or not you can, you do calculate cost of sales each time when sales is applicable. But in the periodic inventory system, we do not account for cost of sales when sales occurs. We only do that at the end, okay, of the financial period. Now, the recording of inventory for the perpetual inventory system. I wanted this slide to be rather at the perpetual inventory system where it starts, but I thought, oh, I can just as well have it here. So, under the perpetual inventory system, the purchases of inventory is recorded in the inventory account. So then you do it as you are used to doing it. Okay. Under the perpetual system, the sales of inventory are still recorded in the sales account. Under the perpetual inventory system, the cost of sales is determined at the time of the recording of the sale. As I already said, the cost of sales must be determined when the sale occurs. Let me just quickly check the chat. If the inventory is purchased on credit, is it debited on trade payables? Okay, so the question in the chat, as you can see, is inventory purchased on credit? Now, I assume that's now for the periodic inventory system where we have the purchases and sales account. So when it's purchased on credit, it means that purchases, of course, would increase on the debit side because it's an expense. And then trade payables, because you purchased on credit, will be credited because it's a liability account. Remember, I always say, trade payables mean you still need to pay the account. So that's a liability because you owe this person money. It's like also a bank overdraft. But when you have trade receivables, it means that you need to receive money from a client. That's how I always distinguish it. And of course, that is then an asset. Yes, I see the trade payables increase. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's continue. Okay, I'm not going to read this also. You can go through it on your own time. It's also like this in your learning unit. Let me just quickly take A hand. Yes, you can unmute.
Hi, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
I wanted to ask, so if inventory is purchased on credit, then it is an expense, not an asset. Or
It's a liability.
okay, I'm talking about the inventory itself. Then,
Oh,
because
you
I see
mean if
inventory
we,
falls under assets, but I heard you say something
yes.
about expense.
Oh, okay. Are you referring to the perpetual inventory system?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, apologies, when you purchase inventory, your inventory account will be debited because it's an, I said it's an expense. That's where it came from. It's an asset. And then whether it was cash or on credit, then cash would, of course, because you purchased, would be credited your bank account. And if it was on credit, then it will be trade and other payables, which is a liability.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
It's a pleasure. Okay, let's continue. Okay, this is also just like this in your learning unit. It's actually it's very good summary. If you look at just the transaction and what the transaction, how the transaction is recorded, so you go through it on your own. Please take note for those of you that are supplementary students. I I cannot remember if we put an announcement up regarding this, but this freight charges on purchases was omitted by us by error. So we added this. For those of you who used last semester's learning unit 3, just take note of this, please. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is a summary of the inventory system. Okay, so we purchase. Okay, remember now, we are doing the periodic as we say here at the top. So you forget inventory. You are just remembering purchases, sales, and of course, whether it's on credit or cash. No cost of sales, no inventory for now. Okay. So purchase of inventory for cash. Now purchases is going to be debited. Okay, because it's an expense and the expense increase on the debit side. Oh, it said it here. Sorry, I'm okay. You credit bank because remember it was cash. So the bank increases, decreases when money is paid out. And of course, it's recorded in your cash payments journal, but you don't need to worry about that now. It, yeah, I think you will learn it later. Yeah, the journals. Now, purchases of inventory, exactly the same as above, but on credit, means you debit again your purchases, as I explained and as said above, the reason. But this time, because it's on credit and you purchase it on credit, it means you owe money to someone else. So this means trade in other payables. You need to still pay this account. Is a liability because you owe money and a liability increase on the credit side. And the transaction is recorded in the purchases journal at cost price. Sale of merchandise for cash. So sale now, not purchases. So of course, if you sell something for cash, your bank account, which is an asset, will be debited. And then what happened? You sold merchandise. So your sales account which is an income account, will be credited. Okay, and then exactly the same, but this time it's on credit. So this time, because you purchase it on, no, you sold it on credit, it means that this client still owes you the money. So your trade and other receivables, you need to still receive them. Let me just quickly mute. Uh, okay, it's gone. Okay, apologies for that. Okay. So here I said you sale, it's a sale again on credit this time. So the trade and other receivables account, which is um, a debitors account, will be debited. And then, of course, your sales account, which is an income, will be credited. I hope this is literally the summary of the periodic inventory system. I always say that we we don't know why we call or why they said left is on this side and right is on this side. Now that's exactly the same principle when you ask someone about debit is on the left side, credit is on the right side. We don't know why they called that on or decided about this side is called this and that side is called something else. So that's why I always say in the beginning, you first need to learn the principles, and then through practicing, you will gain more trust and you will feel, how can I say, more comfortable with the module, and then eventually just do the exercises without worrying, because remember you have that basic principles where you know which account is where it's classified, if it increases, decreases, what side, and all those principles you need to first learn and practice. And then after that, you will get to a point where you can just do the exercise based on the knowledge you learned. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, we're looking at this example. I always say it's not now applicable in this example. I'm going to take your hand now. I always say you first, if you have an example or a question, you read the instructions, if there is any instructions. Thereafter, you read the required part, and then you start with your first transaction. Okay, so that's the order I usually do my exercises or let me just see. Yes, you can unmute. Kimisu, you can unmute. Kimisu. Okay, maybe this is just by accident. Okay. So, an account is a summary record of all transactions relating to a particular item in an entity. In conventional accounting in books, the account has the format of a letter T and is therefore called a T account. The following is the T accounts to record the above transactions that took that looks as follows. Okay, so oh my gosh, let me see where's my polls. I forgot to start with the first poll I wanted you to quickly do. Let me do it in any case, although it might be not so good now after we started the class. Um, Kamisu, unmute yourself. Okay, I don't know then. Okay, so Let me just quickly go. Okay, just something silly that I thought I'll post, and then you guys can react on it and we can see how everyone feels today. I wanted to start with this, but I totally forgot. So, how are you feeling today? Not about what you just heard, if it was confusing for you. Okay, you just choose an option. Is there no reaction? Nothing. Can you um, indicate for me? Let me see in the chat. Oh, there it's starting now. Okay. Okay, good. That's good. Okay. I think we can continue then. Okay, then let me quickly go back to the polls. Okay. Um, I also wanted to first launch this poll, which I also forgot about. Apologies for that. This is just for interest sake. I think it's something interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting for me as well to know what the terminology is of the word inventory in another language. So yeah, I would appreciate that because I usually take that we call this word cloud, and then I put it in the learning unit online, of course. Stock, okay. I like it, you guys. Thank you for participating. Oh, no problem, Magalu. You're still welcome. I understand you have also other responsibilities and so on. Yes, please don't put in the chat, put it in the word cloud and then submit it. Um, where is it now? I can't see it anymore. Okay, see. Okay, I'm going to continue. Thank you guys for participating. Okay, now inventory of 10,000 Rand. This is now the first transaction. Okay, this one. Inventory of 10,000 Rand was purchased by the business on 30 April for cash. Now, I usually start with cash or credit. It's just for me easier because I always start with the bank account. If it says cash, then I know it's the bank account. If it says credit, it's either trade and other receivables or trade and other payables. Straightforward. Only those three. So in this case, it was cash and you purchased. So this means your bank account, which is an asset, will decrease on the credit side. And of course, your purchases account, which is an expense, will increase on the debit side. But now I'm not so sure because now we are purchasing and we are using the periodic inventory system. So let's see, I have another poll. Which account do you think will be debited? Let me get my polls. Oh, it's loading. I don't know why I say. Okay, word cloud. I love it. So it looks good. Okay, poll one. Let's see. So which account do you think will be debited? Okay. I always thought, like I said, with bank, in this case, it will be not, yeah, in this case, it will be debited or credited, and the other side that is left, that account will be debited or credited. So, yeah, just choose um, the correct answer or the answer that you think is correct, and then we'll see. Oh, wonderful. Yes, okay, that's wonderful. Okay. So I see most of you responded by saying purchases, which is 100%. Okay. So purchases, like I said, is an expense. Expenses increase on your debit side. So what account is applicable? It's your bank account because it was cash purchase of 10,000 Rand. Now let's go and launch another poll, and let's see which account will be credited. I think I gave everything away when I explained it.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
I have a question. I
Okay.
think I'm getting confused now. Isn't it that expenses are equity?
Yes, but remember now, we are not doing the basic accounting equation.
Oh, okay.
When you do that, then expenses and income and drawings and capital will fall under equity. But when you have a straightforward transaction, which you don't have to show in the basic accounting equation, then you don't think of equity.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure. Okay, I see most of you said bank account. Let's see. Yes, the bank account would be credited because, like we said, purchases is an expense. Oh, apologies, your bank account is an asset, and since we purchased, it will decrease on the credit side. And look again at this account that's used here. It's the purchases account. Now you will see it's the opposite account name of each other. This is your purchases account, but you put the bank account as a description, and the bank account you put purchases as a description. The reason therefore is if I go to my purchases account and I see yes 10,000 Rand, then I will immediately know if I wrote bank that okay, this was a transaction which involved the bank account. The same with the bank account. They will see that purchases was affected. So purchases was applicable. I hope that makes sense. Can you guys just indicate with a thumbs up? Matthews, you want to unmute?
Yes. Good day, Antoinette. Good day,
Yes.
colleagues. Yes. I just want to make a very little observation. The consistency of a date. That dates
Mm-hmm.
are consistent. I don't know if that becomes an important aspect, but I think it's an observation that I'm making.
Yes. No, it is definitely in sequence. Let me see. Yeah, this, as you will see here, also you see the dates.
Yeah, I'm
So
saying that because the dates contradicted each other. it would have been a big deal. It would have frustrated the entire discrepancies would have been glaring. I just thought I observed that.
Okay. It won't necessarily be in this case because you how can I explain it? Since this is just plain uh, recording of a transaction. So this, what I'm trying to say is that if you set here the 31st and in a bank account the 30th, won't penalize you for that necessarily. It depends on the type of topic and the type of question that we use. Okay. So dates will be very important when you have, for example, depreciation, bank reconciliation, and so on. But for now, for this, for inventory, it's not so important. But of course, you do want to put the correct date. So no, but thank you for the observation. Thank you. Yes, thank you for posting that in the chat. Um, those of you who could not sign in with your My Life email account will unfortunately not be able to submit the answer to the polls. So please try and use your My Life account, okay? Okay, let's continue. Matthews, your hand is still up?
Sorry.
No
You should have
problem.
put it down.
I just wanted to make sure you're sorted. Okay. So we purchased 10,000 Rand of inventory cash. Okay. Now, this is called a journal entry. Okay. As you will see, we all have purchases. It is aligned on the left-hand side. And then we have bank. There's indent a bit to the right-hand side. Okay. Now, the reason, therefore, is to distinguish between debit and credit. So, purchases, which we have here, was debited. Okay. So, your purchases will be debited 10,000 Rand. And of course, the bank account was credited with also 10,000 Rand. So remember that if you have to do a journal entry, please just put the indent so that we can distinguish between debit and credit. Although I know the amounts tell you already, but just for us as well when we mark. Okay. Now, inventory of 15,000 was purchased by the business on the 31st of May on credit. Okay. This time I'm not going to say anything. um, let's see. Okay, so first of all, you guys remembered I said purchase a sales account and when it's periodic inventory and no inventory account or cost of sales for now. And then, of course, you have to distinguish between cash and credit. So which account do you think will be debited? I'm waiting for my poll, sorry. Here it is. So which account will be debited? Sure, okay. Mm, okay. Looks good. Okay, let's see. Your purchases account. Yes. So remember, the first entry in the purchases account was when we looked at the first transaction. This is the second transaction, which also uses the purchases account. So instead of opening a new purchase account, we just record everything in one purchases account. So yeah, it is 15,000 Rand and it is debited. Again, just like in the previous one that was cash. Okay. Now we want to know which account will be credited. I think you can easily see the answer, but still I want you to think about it. Oh, that looks wonderful, yo. Wonderful, yo. Well done, everyone. Let's see. Trade and other payables because you still need to pay the creditor an amount. And of course, it's a liability, and a liability increases on the credit side. Okay. Let me just close this poll. Oh, there's something in the chat. Oh, it's just the poll. Okay. Now, uh, the third, oh, we are going to just record again what we did in the general ledger or T account as we know it in the journal. So purchases was again debited, but this time with 15,000. So purchases debited, and then of course trade and other payables were credited. So we write it, uh, put an indent, trade and other payables, and of course the amount comes in the credit column. I forgot to say in the first journal entry, this purchase inventory on credit is a narration that you put there just to also summarize what happened now here. Purchases of inventory was on credit. Okay. So that's not so important, but yeah, I like to usually also have that so that when I go back to a general journal or something that I know what happened. Okay. So transaction 3. Let me go back. Okay. I don't know why everything is so slow today. Okay, let's look here. This, okay. 5, okay. Inventory of 22,000 Rand was sold by the business on the 30th of June for cash. So bank, bank account or trade either payables or receivables. And then, of course, you sold inventory. So, okay, which account will be debited, do you think? Okay. Yeah, when you determine, if you look at the cash and you determine what account it is that will be affected, then think immediately, first ask you what type of account is this? What says the rules on what side is increasing, which side is decreasing? And yeah, then from there on, um, you can go to the next account. Okay. Okay, wonderful. Well done, everyone. Yes, your bank account because it's cash. Okay, so let's look at poll number 6. Which account will be credited? Well done. Okay. Yes, your sales account. Okay. And because sales is an equity and it's an income. Apologies, just hold on. Okay. It's a sales account, and since sales is an income account, it increases on the credit side. And as I mentioned, the opposite account name is written in the journals. We say here at the bottom, cost of sales is not applicable when the periodic inventory is used. Okay, so now we are going to look at how it's recorded again in the general journal or journal. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go back. So bank account was this time debited with 22,000 Rand. So your bank account is written on the left hand side and it's debited. And of course your sales account was credited. So your sales account, you can write with a little indent. It's 22,000 Rand, and we just say sell inventory for cash. And here I just say again that remember cost of sales is not applicable now. Okay, the fourth transaction, inventory of 26,000 Rand was sold by the business on the 31st of October on credit. Okay. So inventory was sold. So let's see which account will be debited. Okay, well done. Okay. Yes, there it goes. Looks better now. Okay, let's see. It should trade and other receivables. Because you sold something, it means that there's a client or a business that owes you money. So you still need to receive it. So it's an asset, and an asset increases on the debit side. And it increases in this case because sales took place. Okay. Now let's go. We go back. Okay. Which account will be credited? Okay, can you tell me? So we dealt already with the credit part. Yeah, well done. No, don't change. Stick with your first answer always. Yes, stick with that answer. Okay, well done, everyone. Yes, it's your sales account. And again, sales is income, and it will be credited because income increases on the credit side, and the opposite account name, apologies, is written. Okay, you see here I wrote credit sales and cash sales, just so that you can distinguish between the two. Okay, and of course, cost of sales is again not applicable. Now we're looking again at the journal. We say trade and other payables were debited and sales were credited. So trade and other receivables was debited and your sales was credited. Okay, now we are going to include inventory and cost of sales. Because now we're at the end of... Why is my polls not moving? Sorry. Let me just check it. Don't tell me it didn't save my polls, which I already created. Oh my gosh. That's a problem. Okay, let me just check in the chat. Why is it bank under the sales account for credit sales? Okay, let's go back. Okay, so why is it bank under the credit sales account for credit sales? That is like I explained earlier. This is to help you know what account is relevant. Okay, so when you look at your sales account, you will see here, oh, bank account, it was credit sales. So your bank account was affected. When you go to your trade and other receivables account, you will see, okay, sales took place. So that's why you use the opposite account name. Palesa, you can unmute. You can
Can you hear me
unmute.
now?
Yeah.
My question is, why is it bank and not trade and other receivables if it's a credit sale? Why are we wording it as bank?
Okay, I understand that. Okay. Yes. Why? Let me just check quickly the other slide where we had it as bank. There was the first, no, that was on credit. Yes, here was bank and purchases. Okay. Let me check again. Bank asset sales. Go back. That's also bank. Okay, this is slide I think that we were on.
Yes.
Okay, this one. You know what? You are 100% correct. This one, this entry, should have been trade and other receivables. But remember, this is not the error on my side. I did it to test you all. But thank you so much. So you are definitely, you know this and understand it. Let me make a note because I'm uploading the slides for you as well. Once we are done. And of course, once the recording is uploaded, let me just write here, example. Thank you so much. You see, I really just wanted to test everyone. And apologies for this error, yeah. Okay, sales. Okay, let me just write here, sales. Okay, not bank. Okay, let's hope you don't get tested further in the slides. Thank you so much. Okay, so yes, apologies. This one must be trade and other receivables. Okay, so, here we have it correct, but it will be correct because we focus on the account name. Trade and other receivables were debited, sales were credited. So, of course, then in the journal, trade and other receivables, sales account, and you sold inventory on credit. Okay. Now, we are at the year-end adjustment. So you will make, if you remember earlier, one of the slides said specifically that only at the end of the year. Okay, so that's also where a date is important, of course. At the end of the year, an inventory or a stock take will take place, and then you have to calculate your cost of sales and your inventory. Okay, so in the periodic inventory system, there are no entries made into the accounting records during the financial year for cost of goods sold. At the end of the financial year, when a physical inventory count is performed, the account's inventory and cost of sales are adjusted. Okay. The entity started the financial year with 20,000 Rand inventory on hand. So you will agree this is your opening inventory at the beginning of the year. The following is the inventory T account that looks as follows. Now, I always say, or it's not a rule, but it works like this. A lot of people struggle to remember on which side does a balance come. Now, your balance is usually on your increasing side. So if this was sales, sales increases on the credit side, then we would have put the balance here. In this case, it's inventory and it's debited, so we put the balance on the debit side. The only account where you must please take note of later on is where you have your bank account. Bank account will also be an asset and it increases on the debit side. And then, of course, you will write your balance on the debit side. However, an unfavorable bank balance, meaning a bank overdraft, for example, will not be recorded on the debit side. It will be seen as a liability because now you owe the bank money. And it will be recorded on the credit side because liabilities increase on the credit side. In this case, it's just a minus. I hope that makes sense. So that's how I always remember where the balance comes. Okay. So we recorded now the opening balance of inventory. Now, at the end of the financial year, an inventory count was performed, an inventory cost price to the value of 40,000 Rand was counted. Therefore, at the end of the financial year, the following adjustments are processed. Transfer the total purchases to cost of sales. Okay. Now, previously, as we did the transactions, the first transaction and the second transaction, the second one is on slide 18. We recorded purchases. So now we could total the debit side. Forget now about this side. So we totaled it and it was 25,000 Rand. We, however, did not have a cost of sales account. And a cost of sales account is an expense. And the expense increase on the debit side and decrease on the credit side. So now we are saying you are closing your purchases account off and you're taking it to the cost of sales. So we are going to write cost of sales and it's going to be 25,000 Rand and the balance will also be 25,000. So you will see it equals each other out on the debit and credit side. So there's no purchases account anymore. And then we record purchases in your cost of sales on the debit side. Okay. This is just how it looks in your journal again. We said cost of sales was debited and purchases was credited. Okay. So it's the same here. Cost of sales debited, purchases credited. And we say the transfer total purchases to the cost of sales account. Okay, so now we are following two steps. The amount of 20,000 Rand was already cancelled. So that was step 1. Step 2, the inventory amount. Oh no, the amount of 20,000 must be cancelled. Okay. Remember the beginning, we said the inventory account reflects an amount of 20,000 Rand. That was the opening balance. That must now be adjusted to the inventory count that you physically did, and it was 40,000 Rand. So now we have to cancel this opening balance. Okay, so inventory is an asset. It increases on the debit side. So you write your balance on the debit side. And we already did it. It was the first D account. We wrote 20,000 Rand. You total it. And now it must be closed off again, like with the purchases, to the cost of sales account. So cost of sales, you will credit it. It will be 20,000 and the balance, so there will be no inventory account for now. And then you take it to your cost of sales account, which is an expense, and it increases on the debit side. Okay. Here's just again how it looks in your journal. Yeah, in your general journal. As you will see again, inventory was credited, cost of sales were debited. Inventory credited, cost of sales debited. Okay. Now, the inventory amount of 40,000 Rand is then added to the account. Okay. So, okay, you must now, please bear with me now. So, we had an opening balance of 20,000 Rand for inventory. Then that had to be cancelled and taken to the cost of sales account of 20,000 Rand. And here we brought it down to your inventory. Inventory we brought down on the debit side and yeah, to close off this opening balance. In the beginning, we had 25,000 Rand that was already recorded. We go back. There is the 25,000 Rand. You see here in the cost of sales. So basically that's why you use only one T account. So that you can see the whole, how can I say, the bigger picture, the whole picture of what's going on. So purchases was already recorded. Inventory was closed off or cancelled against cost of sales. Now inventory of 40,000 Rand that was written on this side now must be also closed off against cost of sales, but this time on the credit side, because this is the closing balance. Okay, and so you balance this, you will see 40,000 Rand is here. We are taking the balance, the closing balance of inventory. Okay, and then we write 40,000 Rand again there, and it totals as well also this as 60,000 Rand. Okay, just by way of thumbs up. Okay, no, everyone is crying. I'm so sorry, guys. Just by way of thumbs up, do you understand? Okay, Do you understand the previous transactions? Thumbs up or write in the chat. Okay, so okay. So basically you're more lost when we do this year-end adjustments. Remember, like I said, you first need to learn, then you will understand by practicing and practicing and remembering the principles that you learned. Okay, so let's do this. I see we still have a half an hour. Okay, because after this, we are going to the perpetual inventory. But okay, let's go again and we start. Okay, just show me by way of hands. Where do you agree that just the year-end adjustments didn't make sense? By thumbs up, or you can write in the chat. Okay, one thumbs up, and thank you, Frank, as well for indicating. Okay, remember the previous transactions were straightforward. It was sales, it was purchases, it was on credit, or it was cash. We recorded that in our purchases account and sales account, and either the bank account, or trade and other receivables, or trade and other payables. Okay? Is that fine? Did you understand the first part? Okay, Palesa, thank you. Please, guys, indicate in the chat or thumbs up that I need to know where to go to start again. Okay. Let's just go back. Remember, we are doing the periodic inventory system. So we do not account for cost of sales during the year. Okay? As you can see, this transaction, I just went back one or two slides. This transaction was sales that took place on credit, and you sold inventory on credit, so it means trade and other receivables. Trade and other receivables is applicable. It's debited because it's an asset. Sales, which is an income, was credited. Okay, and here we had the error where trade and other receivables had to be recorded. Okay, okay. Are you guys fine until here? Themba? Oh, okay. You were just indicating. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Violet, Ore. Okay, okay. So you're fine with the basics that we did. Okay. You see, it's a good thing we are doing the periodic today so that you can go, if you have time, through this, try to make sense out of it, or even learn this. Learn this out of your head, and it will make more sense. Okay. So let's go on. Now, okay. The periodic inventory system, I apologize for reading again through it, but I want everyone to be on the same page. There are no entries made in the accounting records, like I said, during the financial year for cost of goods sold. Because when you sell something, you have cost of sales actually. At the end of the financial year, a physical inventory count is performed. the accounts inventory and cost of sales are adjusted. And actually it's brought in because it wasn't there before. So here we just tell you the entity started with a 20,000 Rand balance in the inventory account. It was the opening balance. Now inventory is an asset. And like I explained, your balance usually comes on your increasing side. And an asset increase on the debit side. So you write balance. You don't need to write opening or closing. And then you write the 20,000. Okay, do you guys understand this? Thumbs up or in the chat. Okay, a few of you. Let's hope the others feel the same. Thank you. Oh, Willem, you want to ask something? Oh, you were just indicating. Okay. So we have opening inventory. Okay. But remember, throughout the year, sales took place and no cost of sales were recorded and so on. So later on, we're going to, let me just mute quickly. Okay, it's muted. Okay, thank you for the chat there. Okay, so basically, we need now to record the cost of sales, bring in the inventory that we counted at the end of the year, the physical inventory count. Okay, so here we still write the opening inventory. Okay, so here we just say again the inventory count was performed, inventory at cost price to the value of 40,000 Rand was counted. At the end of the financial year, the following adjustment is processed. So unfortunately, you have to learn this now. First, you do transfer total purchases to cost of sales. Learn that out of your head. And as you go through it and practice, it will make more sense. Okay. So it's difficult. It's like I said, um, left and right, debit, credit, all those you need to learn out of your head. Okay, so the first one or step is you transfer total purchases to the cost of sales account. Okay, these two accounts I should have actually put the purchases first, but let's see. Okay, so we had an purchases account as we did those transactions. Okay. Periodic inventory. You get two. You get your perpetual inventory and your periodic inventory. Periodic means just that you don't use the inventory account. You use purchases and sales, and you also do not account for cost of sales. But now at the end of the year, you have to account for cost of sales. And then you bring that and your inventory account in. Okay. Yeah, periodic is like, um, uh, yeah, Hunter says periodic means after some time has passed. Yes, so during the year we recorded everything in the purchases, sales journal, bank, trade receivables, trade payables. But now we have to know transfer the total purchases, cost of sales to the cost of sales account. So this was already recorded when we did the other transactions. So if we total it, because it says purchases must be um, closed off to cost of sales. Now, how do you close it off? How do you take the debit amount out? You credit it. because now you have 25,000 on the left side, you have 25,000 on the right hand side. So now there's no balance. Okay, so your cost of sales, you will credit to get this amount out of your purchases, and you will record it in your cost of sales account, which is an expense, and the expense increase on the debit side when it occurs. Okay, thumbs up. Oh, Themba, apologies, I didn't see your hand. You can unmute?
Yes, good evening, Miss Van Eck. I think
Yeah.
I think where I get lost is where we say we are now at the end of the year, and then we
Mm,
have to do the inventory count, what is
mm,
it, the inventory count, and then the cost of sales, right?
mm,
Um, I see we have a 40,000 rands there, and
yeah.
then what confuses me is that on the two accounts, the cost of sales and the purchases, we end up with a 25,000 rands and a 10,000 rands. I don't understand how that came about and how we came to neglect the 40,000 rands that they are talking about there on top. And on the two tables here, it's cost of sales and purchases, and not cost of sales and the inventory count, because that is what we are. I assume that is what we are supposed to do: the cost of sales and the purchase. I mean, and the inventory count. Please, I'm a bit lost there.
Okay. You are with me when I say that this 10,000 and 15,000 was recorded previously in those two transactions.
That's another confusion. Which two transactions? Is it the last one, the fourth example that we did?
Yes, no, the first one we did. It was also
Or
numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you go
yes,
back to your slides, you will see there was a 10,000 recording and a
yes,
15,000 recording. We are
that's
not
correct.
now recording it in the inventory account, because what did we say? The first step is transfer total purchases to cost of sales. So now you're going
Okay,
to add your two amounts and get that total. Now you have to write it on the opposite side so that you cancel it out, because this side is a minus and the other side's a plus. And that 25,000 Rand you record in the cost of sales account. So your
okay, I'm with you.
purchases, okay, so if this is the first step, if I can put it like that. We have steps, but let's say this is the first thing you need to do. So we already recorded the opening inventory. Now we are taking the purchases account, we're closing it off on the opposite side, and we're taking it to cost of sales, because we have now we have to how can I say, bring cost of sales and inventory into the accounting records. Okay, so is that making sense?
I think I understand you to the until where you said from we take the first example and the second example, and then we counting what is it? We are calculating what is it? The cost, the purchases, which is for example number one and number two.
Mm-hmm.
Am I with you?
Yes, but remember I said if you go back,
Yes.
if you are finished today and you want to go back, I hope I can get the slides and the recording today. I really hope so. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, first thing. But if you go back to the transactions that we did, you
Yes.
will see that this too was already recorded in the purchases account. But now, at the end of the year, We did the physical inventory count. Now we have to close purchases, the amounts we already recorded in it. You have to take out of the purchases account and record it in the cost of sales. We will still get to the inventory account. So this is your first step. Yeah, your cost of sales account will, in this slide, it will be 25,000, but we're not done recording entries in cost of sales. So it doesn't mean that now your cost of sales will be 25,000 Rand. Sorry, Temba, I was answering in the chat as well. Does it make sense now?
It makes sense so far, ma'am. It does.
Okay. I should have posted or had the previous slide for this too. But I forgot. I thought if I number it 1 and 2, you guys will see at the beginning it's transaction 1 and transaction 2. Apologies then for that. Okay. Now the journal entries you guys know by now. Now, this is step 1, okay. The previous 2 was the first 2 things you needed to do, okay. The inventory account reflects an amount of 20,000. Remember, that was your opening balance that you recorded in your inventory account. And now it needs to be adjusted to the inventory count amount of 40,000 Rand at the end of the year. This is done in 2 steps. Okay. So we can say the first step we did was record the opening balance. The second step we did was taking all the purchases amounts and totaling it and cancel it against cost of sales. Yes, here's cost of sales. Okay. So then we transferred the total purchases to the cost of sales account. This was our second step. But now to record the 40,000 Rand in the inventory account and cost of sales, we have 2 steps. Okay, so don't confuse the other 2. I should have also wrote steps. Okay, step 1, the amount of 20,000 Rand is cancelled. Because remember now we have our opening balance. But the 20,000 Rand is going to change now. Okay? So we close it off on the opposite side so that you see the balance is, apologies, is 20,000 Rand on the debit side and credit side. So we're taking the 20,000 Rand out of inventory and we are recording it on the cost of sales account on the debit side. Now you will remember, here's the 25,000 Rand, the cost of sales. That was our second step. Here's the 25,000. Okay, does this make sense so far? Just thumbs up or in the chat, please. Okay. Okay, thank you guys for indicating. Okay, so we had our first 2 steps. Opening inventory was recorded and we closed off all the purchases to the cost of sales account. But now there's 2 other steps that we just did now. The first step, okay. The amount of 20,000 we need to cancel, take it out of inventory and record it in the cost of sales. Now, this is again a journal entry. It's just showing how it looks. Okay, you see, I think the slide is too busy. I think I should have made another slide. But Please don't focus on the yellow and at the um, part at the at this blocks here. Don't look at that, please. Step 2. The inventory amount of 40,000 Rand is then added to the account. Okay? So remember, we had the opening balance of 20,000 Rand, which we in the previous slide took out of the inventory account. See, it was credited and we recorded it here at the cost of sales. Okay? Now we have to bring in the physical inventory count amount, and that's 40,000 Rand. So you bring 40,000 Rand in on the debit side, because this is now going to be your balance of your inventory. You take it to your cost of sales again. Here it is, inventory closing, 40,000 Rand. Okay. Now you can add the two accounts and you will see this account, the inventory account balances out and there's no balance going forward. The cost of sales, however, has a balance here of 5,000 Rand. Now, how do I get that balance? You already have 25,000 Rand here and 20, which totals to 45,000 Rand. Now you need to make sure that this side is also 45,000 Rand. So here we have already 40,000 Rand. So what do we still need to make sure that it is 45,000 Rand? We need 5,000 Rand, and that is your closing balance. Okay, so 5,000 Rand is your closing balance for cost of sales. Does it make sense so far? Just indicate please with thumbs up or yeah, in the chat. Okay, wonderful. Okay, now bear with me. Okay, now we already actually know what cost of sales is going to be. Because here's the cost of sales account. And what is the balance? 5,000 Rand. But let's do it in these blocks as we teach you in the learning unit. Cost of sales, ignore now that amount, equals your opening inventory, that was your 20,000 Rand, plus the purchases that you closed off against cost of sales, minus your closing inventory of 40,000 Rand. Okay? Then you will see 20 plus 25 minus 40 gives you the 5,000 Rand. So this is just another way you can do a calculation to determine the cost of sales. I see we have 5 minutes left. I'm quickly going to post the evaluation form. Oh my gosh, yeah, there it comes. If you can please be so kind to just take 1 minute, not even a minute, and just complete it. And yeah, please just tell us what do we need to do, improve, so that we know where we can present the classes better and more understandable towards you guys. Oh, shame. Can someone please send the link for WhatsApp group? Okay. For FIC, for us, the FIC lecturers, there is no WhatsApp group. The facilitators from the regional offices, specifically know Miss Aziza Fortuin, which is the Western Cape regional office. She has a WhatsApp group. Her classes is usually on a Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30. Okay. And you can please then Thursday tomorrow, ask her about the WhatsApp group in the chat, and I can guarantee you one of the other students will post it for you, or she will post it for you. Where can you attend her classes? Just go to the announcements on the online module site for FAC 1503. You will see that we post a schedule there that tells you which class is taking place, which is the facilitator, and also the link that will open and take you to the class that's being presented. Okay. So you will see Miss Fortuin is Tuesdays and Thursdays. We are usually Mondays and Wednesdays during lunchtime. But today was unfortunately now had to be changed. Yeah, we had to change it to Wednesday and Thursday due to unforeseen circumstances. So yes, I hope this slide is okay, but like I said, I think it's too busy. The yellow and the blocks here, if you don't know where to look and where to start. Okay. So you can even take a ruler. I put a ruler underneath it and just focus on that. Opening balance was closed off to cost of sales. And yeah, but work through it again. I will quickly try and see if I can get the slides uploaded. I unfortunately don't have access to upload it. So, yes, let me just check the chat. For someone who is doing accounting for the first time in his life, what advice can you give them? What things should he focus more on? Okay. Now, first of all, you guys are no, okay. 90, let's say 95% of all the LLB students didn't have accounting and or mathematics. So you don't have to feel alone. You are one of the 95% students that don't have a clue and don't want to do this module. Okay. So like I said, I would start by learning the principles. First start by what is debit, what is credit. Start with what account is classified as an asset, equity, liability, and which side does the account increase or decrease. And then from there on, practice by doing the examples in the learning units without looking at the answers. And then when you do look at the answers, try to make sense out of it. But remember, like I said, you are going to have to learn. Like this steps I mentioned, learn it out of your head. Okay. Learn it out of your head so that you know what to do. So yeah, I hope that helps a bit. And then of course, attend the classes. Oh yes, please, you don't need to attend all the classes. You can decide, let's say you like Miss Wizani Baloy's class. She's from Gauteng. She's starting next week with classes. Um, then you can attend her classes. If you like more Miss Fortuin's classes, then you attend her classes. And also remember, I upload the recordings also in an announcement. And then we have a link to the recording on a YouTube site. The Gauteng regional office usually have a link that takes you directly to the recording, but they take some quite bit of time because they first edit the recording. But yeah, so please, I know everyone is overwhelmed with everything, but yes, like I said, the WhatsApp groups, please ask your facilitators. So far, it's Miss Fortuin, and yeah, and she's wonderful. Her classes is really always funny. I enjoy her classes, but yeah, you can decide if you don't attend any of the classes and just wants to listen to the recordings, you are welcome. You don't even have to listen to the recordings. Um, so yeah, no. Also, work through the learning material online. I know it's locked. We did it. There's a purpose why. We want everyone to work through the learning units. We don't want you to skip it. And please don't complain about the time you need to spend on each of those lessons because you know what we did. If we added the recording time, let's say there was a PowerPoint recording and it was 20 minutes. And then there was another slideshow of 10 minutes. So it's 30 minutes in total. Now, usually you have to then lock that specific lesson for 30 minutes to ensure that you listen to both of these PowerPoint presentations. However, we went and we divided it by two, and even sometimes we made them less to assist you so that when you are on the learning um, on the lesson, in the lesson, busy working through it, that it will unlock even before you even finish the first page. Okay, so really we accommodated you a lot regarding that. And then, yeah, good luck further. Hopefully you will join tomorrow again. Then we will see how it goes with the perpetual inventory system. But don't despair. You will get there. And like I said, learn first and then practice and try to make sense out of it. But thank you, everyone. And I hope you manage to quickly answer the questions in the evaluation form. And I hope you have a lovely day further. And thank you so much for attending. And yes, have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you.